All right, so a favorite memory for me in Apex is Christmas on Salem Street, and particularly late 90s, early 2000s. So Greg Stevenson and I, in 1998, opened the antique store on Salem Street. And so we were involved with the downtown folks and Downtown Business Association, and they sponsored the Christmas on Salem Street. And during those years, that was kind of the business's way to tell the citizens, thank you for supporting us during the year. So we, had hot cider, apple cider, we had hot chocolate. A lot of the businesses actually put food and had hors d'oeuvres out for people to come down. At some point that evolved and we started doing the Christmas tree lighting, had the announcement, from the mayor, by the mayor, and we had the carriage rides. So, we live in North Carolina, so, sometimes the 1st of December is a little on the warm side, sometimes it's a little on the cold side, but it was just absolutely magical to go downtown, all the stores decorated for Christmas, town's decorations up, particularly if it was a cold December night, and then the carriage rides going up and down the street with the street closed. So that's my favorite memory. So important memory of my time in Apex, it was 2005, and the town of Apex had purchased Martha Saunders' home, which was on Saunders Street directly across from the police station. And the town's intention was to, at some point, they decided to tear the house down, and they were going to expand the Saunders Street parking lot. Well, there was some discussion within the community, and particularly, I think, the Historical Society, about whether or not the house could be moved and saved. And so we actually ended up calling Bruce Radford, the town manager at the time, and Bruce gave us permission to go into the house, and our intention was to go in to see whether it seemed to be worthy enough to move the home. And so we go in, and of course, Miss Saunders had moved to a skilled nursing facility or assisted care facility, and I don't think the house had been lived in maybe 10 years. And so a lot of her personal items were still in the home. It was obvious that people had been in and out of the house. Everything was pretty much ransacked. Greg Stevens and I went in, and we were kind of walking around and looking, and we found a bathroom. Of course, no power in the house, so everything's pitch black, and we have flashlights. Well, we noticed the outline of a door. So I don't know if y'all know what Barker board is, but it's an old fake-looking tile stuff that they used to put up in the 40s, 50s in bathrooms. Well, they'd actually covered the door with this Barker board. So the only thing you could see was the outline of the door and a glass doorknob. Well, we opened that closet, and it was totally undisturbed inside that closet. So we get kind of digging around, and in the bottom of the closet, we find 2 cloth bags with over 1,000 silver coins and about 20 gold coins, and we also found a pistol. So we haul that stuff home, and we're like, we got to turn this over to the town of Apex because it's Apex's property. But really, Miss Saunders was still living at the time. Really, it's her property, right? It was just left in the house. So I called Bruce, and I'm like, Bruce, I need to meet with you. And I want to meet with you, and I named off 2 or 3 people, and I want to meet in the town attorney's office. And of course, Bruce just has a fit, wanting to know what this is all about. And I'm like, Bruce, I promise you it's nothing bad. But so after the fact, we turned it over to the town. I told Bruce, on the town hall, town offices, you got these big signs posted, no weapons allowed. So I was like, Bruce, there was no way that I was going to walk in town hall carrying these coins and a pistol. So we had a big laugh over that. So that was probably my most important memory. Bruce at the time, I think that was around about the time they were redoing the Halley. And the town had an old safe, which had lived its life initially in the Halley, moved to the town offices when they moved to Saunders Street. When they rehabbed the Halley, they moved it back. So Bruce wanted to take the safe and have it restored, which he did. And so Bruce's thought was that he would somehow set the safe up so the doors would be open, and the town actually ended up buying, I think, 5 of the gold coins from the Saunders family. And he wanted to display those in the safe along with the pistol and along with the story. But unfortunately, that never happened. I think it was probably not feasible to figure out how to protect the contents with it visible to the public. But anyway, that leads me to another interesting fact that I met with our town council member, Terry Mahaffey, back in January. And Terry tells me that they had lost the combination to the safe. And he's like, I really want to get into that. So, I'm intrigued by the safe, knowing Bruce's story and what Bruce's intentions were and what he wanted to do and display the coins. So anyway, I said, Terry, let me see if I can work on this a little bit. So I contacted Mike Wilson, who's the former assistant town manager. I'm like, Mike, here's the problem. You know all the former town employees. I don't know everybody. Can we see if we can figure out how to get that safe open? Well, Mike worked on that for about 2 or 3 months and contacted numerous former town employees. And he actually tried 4 times. So he hit me on try number 3, and try number 4 was the winner. So we were able to get it open about 2 weeks ago. So that was exciting, and unfortunately there was nothing in it. So what makes Apex home to me is the people. Number 1 is the people. Number 2 is the small town character and really the historic downtown. And of course, as I said, we opened the antique store back in 1998. And when I grew up, my parents bought a middle-class home in a fairly new neighborhood in Raleigh. And when I was very young, they built an elementary school in the neighborhood. That was back in the days where, you went to the school closest to where you lived. So consequently, we knew everybody that lived in the neighborhood. Not only did we know the kids, we knew the parents, we knew where they lived, we knew the street names. We come to Apex, open the antique store, and it was so much the same as what I grew up in, the neighborhood I grew up in. And so that really, we had the store open for 2 years before we actually moved to town. And so, yeah, that's what makes Apex home. So my hopes for Apex's potential, everybody talks about the small town character of Apex and community and our downtown. And I'm very hopeful that our town leadership will continue to invest in our downtown, because I do think that is central to really, and a big part of the 2015 Best Small Town in America designation that we got. My fear with the great increase in population is that we'll start to lose some of that. And I hope we keep focused on that and again, continue those investments in our downtown and try to keep that small town feel that we have. And that's so important. So the Apex Downtown Business Association, and usually go by ADBA for short, is basically a group of business owners downtown that get together and have had monthly meetings and talk about issues related to downtown. And we have sponsored events in the past. So Christmas on Salem Street, I think. We would get some grants from the town, during the past years, and we actually used those grants to purchase some of the benches downtown. I think we purchased trash receptacles at times. We purchased part of the Christmas tree that the town uses, at Christmas time for the Christmas tree lighting. So that's part of what we did. And again, we sponsored the Christmas on Salem Street event, got together the carriage rides. We also way back sponsored the July 4th parade, which the town has now taken over, I think. So they were kind of our big things, and we always tried to, we did charge for a few events like the carriage rides or this and that, but that was really just trying to recover some cost, and we never, as a group, made any money out of that. So, being a downtown business owner, and back in the early days, Downtown Business Association was very important as a way for the downtown businesses to work with the chamber, to work with the town leadership, particularly, a way that we could get our collective voices and get that information or those problems or those issues brought to the town council. And part of that, the business association, as does other civic groups, sponsor various different events, around town during the year. And I think a lot of Apex's population doesn't really realize, who's behind that and all the effort that may go behind Christmas on Salem Street or the Christmas parade or the Peak Fest. But, there's been a time, I guess, in more recent years, and particularly due to the population growth, that, the town has had to be a little more careful. And I truly understand that, police and fire have to now be involved, and we've got to make sure that, you've got water barricades up so, people don't come barreling through town when the street's closed and this and that. But it seems like there for a while it has, the town has kind of made it more difficult for these nonprofits and civic groups to actually have, these particular events and sponsor these events. And I would like to see the town, really, the town kind of gets credit for it at the end of the day. So, they really ought to be able to, be easy to work with those folks trying to do these things, because that's all of really what makes Apex.